There is a kind of strength that never needs to raise its voice. It doesn't seek validation or victory. It simply exists in quiet confidence, unshaken by judgment or rejection. In The Untethered Soul, Michael A. Singer teaches that true freedom is not found in control, but in surrender. The moment you stop defending yourself, you begin to live from your deepest power, the power of inner peace. Singer invites us to look beyond the noise of thought and emotion. He says the self is not the voice inside your head, but the one who hears it. Once you recognize this truth, the games of the ego lose meaning. You stop reacting to everything and start observing. This awareness transforms every interaction. You no longer seek to be understood, because you understand yourself. Respect, he implies, begins within. You cannot expect others to honor boundaries that you consistently break. Every time you apologize for existing, every time you explain your truth to be accepted, you quietly tell the world that your worth is negotiable. It stands firm in silence, knowing its value does not need permission to exist. Singer describes the inner voice as a restless roommate, always judging, doubting, and fearing. Most people spend their lives obeying this voice. But the moment you realize you are not it, you are free. True self-respect comes when you stop identifying with the chatter of insecurity and return to the calm witness within. The one who observes is untouchable, eternal, serene. In a world obsessed with noise, silence becomes the loudest form of strength. You don't need to explain your boundaries to everyone. You just need to live them. People feel your energy long before they hear your words. The calm presence of someone who knows their worth commands respect without a sound. Power is not in persuasion, it's in presence. The untethered soul is not about arrogance, it's about alignment. You no longer chase love or approval because you understand that the essence of who you are is already complete. You stop playing small to be liked and start standing tall to be real. Freedom begins where people-pleasing ends. The energy you used to spend convincing others becomes the peace you give yourself. Singer reminds us that most suffering comes from resistance. We try to control outcomes, change opinions, and manage perceptions. But the soul doesn't need to win arguments, it needs to remain awake. When you stop fighting reality, life stops fighting you. Let others misunderstand you. Let them misjudge your silence. Your peace is not up for negotiation. Every moment is an opportunity to release the inner tension that makes you overreact. Someone criticizes you, and instead of defending, you breathe. You feel the sting, but you don't let it define you. You realize the pain is not a signal of weakness, it's a doorway to awareness. You begin to see that peace is not passive, it is power disguised as stillness. Singer writes that the heart is like a river. When you close it with fear or resentment, the water stagnates. But when you open it, life flows freely. Real respect arises from this openness, when you can love without losing yourself, give without emptiness, and say no without guilt. The book teaches that spiritual growth is not about becoming someone new, but remembering who you've always been. You are not the personality shaped by pain, you are the awareness that witnessed it all. Once you live from that awareness, no insult, rejection, or loss can touch your essence. This is the highest form of self-respect, the unshakable knowing of your own soul. The untethered soul does not seek control over others. It seeks mastery over self. Every reaction you transcend adds to your power. Every emotion you observe without attachment becomes a victory of consciousness. Respect grows in this quiet mastery, not in dominance, but in self-command. When you can stay calm when provoked, compassionate when rejected, and still when misunderstood, you embody true authority. Singer reminds us that letting go is not giving up. It's releasing the illusion that control brings peace. You stop trying to fix people or force outcomes. You learn that what others think of you reveals more about their perception than your truth. The moment you stop fighting for validation, your energy rises to a higher frequency, one where respect flows naturally. You begin to notice how often you compromise your peace to maintain harmony. You stay quiet when you should speak, or speak when silence would serve you better. This awareness is the turning point. You realize that peace without authenticity is not peace, it's pretense. And from that moment, you stop sacrificing yourself for acceptance. You choose coherence over comfort. Singer says the heart heals not by avoidance but by allowance. You let emotions pass through you instead of holding them. You stop clinging to stories of who hurt you or why. The more you release, the lighter you become. This lightness is not weakness, it's strength without armor. You no longer need to defend your worth because you finally live it. Self-respect becomes a quiet revolution. You no longer chase those who ignore you, nor justify yourself to those who misunderstand you. You realize that explaining yourself endlessly is a form of fear. Silence becomes your answer. Distance becomes your boundary. Peace becomes your response. What used to drain you now fuels you, because you have returned to your center. The untethered soul lives in the present. It doesn't revisit old wounds or predict new pain. It rests in awareness, observing thoughts as clouds passing through the sky of consciousness. When you live this way, life stops feeling like a battle and starts feeling like a dance. Every challenge becomes choreography for growth. Every silence becomes music for the spirit. Respect cannot be demanded, it must be embodied. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. Every time you say no with grace or hold your ground without anger, you raise the vibration around you. The energy of someone rooted in truth is undeniable. It doesn't shout. It simply radiates. Singer's teachings reveal that most people fear losing others, but the real loss is losing yourself in the process of keeping them. When you prioritize inner peace over external approval, you stop attracting chaos. You begin to magnetize clarity, kindness, and respect. Your world rearranges itself to match your new frequency of authenticity. The more you awaken, the less you need to prove. You no longer enter debates to be right or stay in relationships to feel worthy. You live with a soft strength that others feel but cannot explain. This is the paradox of power. The less you try to control, the more influence you naturally have. Singer reminds us that love and respect are not rewards, they are reflections. The universe mirrors the energy you embody. When you move through life anchored in peace, the world bends toward harmony. When you lead with fear, it bends toward conflict. You are not a victim of perception, you are the creator of presence. To live untethered is to live awake. It means allowing life to flow without trying to possess it. It means choosing peace over pride, authenticity over approval. This way of living doesn't make you distant, it makes you divine. You no longer chase love, you become it. You no longer demand respect, you radiate it. The quiet power of the untethered soul is that it no longer seeks to be seen. It simply shines. Its silence carries weight, its stillness commands presence. People may not understand it, but they feel it, the vibration of someone who has stopped betraying themselves. And in that energy, the world remembers what true respect feels like. The greatest strength is gentle. The strongest boundaries are silent. The most respected souls are those who no longer compete for validation. They walk through life calm, aware, and untethered, not because they won, but because they let go. The awakened one does not fight for peace, they become peace itself. Singer's wisdom reminds us that life's purpose is not to avoid pain but to awaken through it. Every trigger, every challenge is a teacher disguised as discomfort. Each time you choose awareness over reaction, you grow lighter, freer, and more yourself. Respect is not about power over others, it's power over your own mind. The untethered soul is not a philosophy, it's a way of being. It's the art of living unbothered yet deeply alive. It's the practice of standing firm in silence, smiling without explanation, and loving without attachment. When you live from that place, the world cannot take anything from you, because you have already found everything within. And that is the secret of self-respect. It doesn't come from pride or defiance. It blooms from peace. When you stop explaining your worth, stop defending your truth, and stop apologizing for your light, something remarkable happens. The world finally sees you as you are. Because the soul that honors itself teaches the world how to bow in return.